Okay, so Celia, today, thanks for taking part in the role play. We are going to be doing a bit of a role play of what I did with a young person with the AIM cards and how I use them, because we're just starting to use them again in MS and we're kind of thinking about how we're going to do it. So I'm going to go through with you how I used it with that young person. If you can kind of be the young person and have a bit of a scenario in your head about the kind of problems a young person might have.
Okay.
And we're not going to do it all, just going to go through kind of key stages that I did. So, okay. So, hi Celia, nice to see you again.
Hello.
Today, as I told you, we're going to be going through some cards. And on these cards, some of them are strengths that young people might have, some of them are difficulties, some of them are issues that you might be facing.
Okay.
Some of them will apply to you and some of them won't. So firstly, I'd like you to go through the cards, have a read of them, and put them into two piles. One pile is cards that don't apply to you, and the other pile is ones that do. They might be kind of positives or negatives, but they are kind of relevant to you right now.
Okay.
So because I was working with this young person who was able to read, I allowed her to just read them. Yeah. I suppose you could read them yourself if you felt that the young person didn't want to read them. Or and I gave the young person quite a long time to do this actually. Probably took about 10 minutes. Is this the pile that doesn't apply?
Yeah.
Okay. So when I did it with the young person, I did go through all of the ones that they didn't think were relevant. Just had a little read, kind of went back through them just to kind of check their own understanding. I'm not going to do that today, but that's kind of what I did initially. So then we got to the cards which they thought did apply to them. So I then got them to divide the cards which they felt were kind of difficulties or challenges for them, and then the cards which they felt were much more positive or their own strengths. So I'm just going to give you kind of a small selection for today's purpose. Okay, so Celia, if you wouldn't mind looking at the cards and putting them into a pile of what you think are your strengths and what you think are kind of difficulties or challenges, or issues perhaps. Okay, so which pile are your positives, your strengths?
These ones.
These ones, okay. So at this point I spent a little bit of time going through the strengths, sort of trying to get to know a bit more about the young person. I'd already met with them a few times, so I did know quite a bit, but it was kind of just thinking about what they view their own strengths. So for example, one of the strengths is, as you've put Celia, one of your strengths is getting to school. So can you tell me, what do you mean by that as a strength for you?
I get up every day and go to school on my own. My mum doesn't have to wake me up.
Okay, yeah, so that's really positive.
Yeah.
You've also got friends who do serious rule breaking.
Yeah.
Is that strength for you?
Yeah, I feel protected and safe by them. They are in a gang, so I'm always cool to go wherever I want because they watch my back.
Okay. And that for you is really important?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Being high in ways that other people just don't get?
Yeah, I have my own little world where I can just be whoever I want to be. And nobody can interfere.
Yeah. And the other thing, the final card, is having enough money and things to survive.
Yeah, I have lots of money.
So these two ones, we've talked a bit before about kind of this sort of behaviour and your involvement with the gangs, and we've said that some people find that quite risky behaviour. So can you talk to me about what you're feeling if other people are thinking it's a bit of a risk, but you're seeing it as
it's just
strength?
adults, isn't it? You guys don't understand where we're coming from. You guys are different generations, so that's why you don't get it. But everybody's in the gang today. You know, that's normal.
Okay, and it's obviously really quite important. Do you see these as really positive
Yes,
parts of your life?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to put the positive cards up there. So at this point, I then went to the cards that the young person identified as challenges, and I asked them to kind of rate them. So I'm going to do that now. So Celia, if you'd like to rate the cards that you have you see are challenges or difficulties into 3 kind of layers. First layer is kind of a bit, they're not massive problems for you, but they're perhaps something that does bother you. The second layer is they're getting to be a bit more important of an issue for you, and it's something that you are thinking of changing. And then the third layer of kind of really key things which you're really unhappy with, or that you find really difficult. Okay, so these are your kind of cards, and this is the layer.
Yeah.
So on top here, these are things that are really important.
This is low.
Okay, this is low.
Yeah.
This is medium, and these are ones that are really serious for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is at this point I went through each individual card, and I explored a lot about each card and kind of found out exactly what the young person was thinking. I'm not going to do that now, but that's the kind of thing I did. I spent quite a lot of time, maybe kind of 10 minutes, really trying to understand what each card meant for the young person. And then, after we'd done that, I then kind of did this next bit about trying to pick the top 3. Okay, so Celia, you've talked a lot about each card, and I feel like I'm starting to really understand what it means for you. If we were to pick just 3 for the moment that we are going to focus on perhaps in our sessions together, which 3 would be kind of most important for you at the moment? And they can be from any of the piles.
Okay.
Okay, so you picked 1 from these, which are the really kind of important, and 1 from the not so important.
Yeah.
But actually, you've chosen that one.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll just move them aside. If you don't mind, I might take some pictures of these cards afterwards, so that in the future we can have a look and see where you're feeling, and what some of these ones that are difficulties might move to a strength, or some of the strengths might get a bit challenging at times, so we'll be able to look back and think about where the cards are moving. Is that alright with you?
Yeah.
Okay. So once the young person had picked the 3 cards, I then went through, because we'd already kind of had quite a good understanding about what the cards were from that bit, I just literally identified them, and then I asked the young person to rate the score. So Celia, you've chosen breaking or destroying stuff on purpose, feeling very low or sad, and dealing with arguments with your family.
Yes.
Okay, so am I right in thinking that these 3 things are kind of key things at the moment that you're really struggling with?
Yes.
And that me and you could kind of focus our sessions on?
Yeah.
Okay, so can I ask you to rate them and give them a number? Because what I'd quite like to do is to check that we're doing okay, we're working on them and they're getting better for you. Kind of every couple of months we might get the cards back out and ask you to rate them again. So could you tell me the numbers now?
Yeah.
So 0 is not a problem for you, 1 is, it's a fair issue, it's kind of, I'm thinking about it a little bit, and then kind of 4 is, I'm thinking about it all the time, it's a really big deal, I want it changed quite quickly.
Okay. A 1.
1, okay,
One.
yeah.
A 4.
Yeah.
And a 4.
Okay, so 2 really high, and then this one, tell me about why it's a 1.
It's just, I only worry about breaking stuff when I break my own stuff.
Okay.
Like, I broke my BlackBerry. I'm not happy with that because my mum is not giving me another one. But if I break like my mum's phone, I don't care about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of an issue, particularly if you're kind of breaking your own things.
Yeah.
But you're not overly concerned about it.
No.
Okay.
But it would be good not to break my own phone.
Yeah. So actually, there is something about kind of controlling that and kind of working with that so that you have a bit more of control over breaking things, whether they be yours or other people's. Okay. So, and then these 2 are really important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do, we've kind of done about kind of 40 minutes now, so we're going to end today's session. And what I would like to do next session is to focus on these 3 cards and plan how we're going to work together to make these less of kind of an issue. So with the feeling low and the sad, we're going to explore a little bit about that, kind of when you might feel low, how we can kind of work with your thoughts and perhaps make you feel a bit better, see what kind of strategies you have to cope with those kind of things. Again, with the arguments with your family, perhaps we can think about what involvement we need to do with your mum and the parenting work that's going on, and how we can kind of link that and make you feel like this is an issue that we're going to be dealing with.
Okay.
Yeah? Is there anything that, how have you felt about today, going through the cards?
Okay, good. Yeah.
Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, it's quite fun, yeah. Some of the stuff I don't really understand, but it's okay. Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to do that next week. And do you have any questions about?
No. Oh, you're going to take me McDonald's?
Yes, we should go to McDonald's as your outreach engagement initial activity. 1 McDonald's trip is fine. Thanks. I don't know how to stop it.
At the top.
Oh yeah.